Hey folks, it's the Disgruntled Dad, making good men better while we work together towards a better life and the decline of the American Empire. Today's February 1st, 2024. Well, I just want to quickly pop in here and talk to you about an experience I just had this week, which was all at the same time absolutely heartwarming and just grew my heart by 10 and broke it all at the same time. So, we'll get into my past here at some point, but my daughter said to my wife, and my wife gives her a hard time all the time. She calls her Josh Jr. because she truly adores me, which obviously that makes you feel good as a parent. But said, well, Jazz, I didn't have a mother for several years or a good female role model, so Papa was my only role model. That's why I'm just like him, and my heart grows for that. At the same time, my heart breaks because her mom's still off just being an idiot, stopping by every once in a while to be the fun parent. And it's gotten so bad that she has openly acknowledged that, and she just accepted it. She's accepted the fact that her mother just bounced, and boy, the years of therapy, whenever that cements in even harder, absolutely concern me. But boy, that's a difficult one. And I got remarried, and it's been actually about half of her life now that her mom's just bounced, not been in her life in any meaningful way. So boy, it's troubling. And so this comes from a book I read, Girls in Crisis. I believe that's what it was called. I forget the gentleman's name. Anyway, it talks about the importance of, and he does a boys afloat or boys I don't know what it is. He did a book on boys and girls, and the point was they're definitely different, but girls specifically really need the fellowship of females of different age groups in different scenarios. So it can't just be church or something like that because, well, everyone acts a very particular way at church, a lot of times rather hypocritical, and that can turn folks away. But out in public, out at friends' houses, and depending on what floats your boat, I like the kids to see what adults look like when they're responsibly consuming alcohol as well, because their mom really likes to turn up and not responsibly do it. So, hey, this is actually what responsible adults do, and it's okay if you do this. You don't have to be a teetotaler like the ladies at church who say, no, never touch that. But okay, there's something in between here, and whatever route you choose to get down, let's ensure you have a positive role model that has shown you a responsible way of doing this. And this goes for all aspects of life. Kids would need to see people at work of their same gender. How do women look at work? How do they act at work? How do they behave at a restaurant? How do they behave at home? How do they behave when they're having a good time? And all these different scenarios and of different age groups. So nobody wants to be like a 60-year-old when they're 12. But hey, there's that 16-year-old. That's someone who I could model. Or there's a 20-something-year-old. That's someone whose behavior I can model. And that's important to give them that diversity of age groups and just types of people. Because you can be different ages and act the exact same way. So just think about this. And where this all plugs into making you better as a man is, well, you also need to be that role model. And I talk about it a lot, but, what are you doing to show the positive attributes that you should be demonstrating as a man? And that's not, whatever the heck that guy's name, Andrew Tate, the one who's essentially just pimping women out because he can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Or you've got Andrew Peterson, who's always crying. I promise there's something in the middle there. You don't need to be a complete and total womanizer and a questionable human being. That dude's super smart, don't get me wrong. Both of them are super smart, but complete opposite ends of the spectrum. One's just crying all the time, and the other is just kind of a gross kind of womanizer. And you just feel sticky listening to him. Well, there's a whole lot in the middle there. You can still swing a hammer and have a regular job and treat people decently and not be either one of those extremes. Anyway, man, it's just the people right now are. I understand the pushback from everyone needs to be a woman, and men are evil to now there's this kickback of, and I see plenty of YouTube videos that all women are evil. No, there's a lot of stuff in the middle. The gray areas where life is made, the black and white that people try and push you to, is the made up crap that they use to polarize us. And so, as you're going about life, find out other groups that are better than you. Right? You can have some folks that are not quite up to the standard you're at right now, but don't ever be the smartest one in the room. Don't ever be the most successful person in the room, because you will become the average of the people you hang around with. Always look for rooms where there's at least one person you can learn from and you seek to be. And at the same time, hold yourself up as someone that others seek to be. Why would they want to be around you if you don't have anything to help them with? You should imagine life as the fountain of wine glasses. You've got your base layer there, and then a smaller layer on top, and then you've got one on top. That one pours into the others below it, and those pour into the others below them. Be part of that fountain. How can you pour into other people? That mentorship is absolutely critical. So do everything you can to be a positive member of society and help other people, help other young men and young women see a positive behavior, and that way they can model it. And then also seek out positive role models that you can look up to and say, I see some things that maybe I don't like that they do, but I do see some other things that I can really benefit from. Let me start modeling those behaviors and learn a little bit more from that person. You don't have to love everything about them. And this is something people do not understand when they're new to politics, is you don't have to like that person. But if you can work with them towards a singular common goal that is good and ethical, work with them. You don't have to go home with them. All you do is have to, hey, we agree on this one thing. Let's work together. It's that easy. And so as you're looking for role models, hey, I don't like all the things you do, and you probably don't tell them that, but hey, I really admire this trait about you. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions or learn from you, or can we just get a coffee or something to that effect? And it depends on your relationship. They could think you're a pervert if you approach it the wrong way. But hey, I really admire this. I really admire the way you handle people who disagree with you. Can we get a coffee and talk a little bit? Something that simple, but just something I wanted to share out of life. And I don't have too many disgruntled days, but really try and focus on the positive. But I assure you there will be ample disgruntled days. But think about that a little bit as you go through life. And with that, folks, make it an absolutely wonderful week. This has been the Disgruntled Dad. Check me on out at disgruntleddad.net or dad@smartgrowth.live. Make it a great week.